Hello my fellow sickos of any and all gender, T-Dub here, and welcome to my stream of conscious style video on Marvel's 2018 video game, Spider-Man! Which for me came free with the purchase of this game, good old Miles Morales! Or to take a look at this game a few years ago. Might do that again sometime in the future, but that is not for right now. And yes, this is the alternate cover by, flipping it over, because, you just open this up, boom, here's the original cover. Nice stuff, yes? Hopefully? I don't know. I always like alternate covers, personally. Adds a little bit more character. A little bit more personalization. Nevertheless, these might be the most stream of conscious or just sort of scatterbrain style I've ever done for a review, so hopefully you enjoy it, because this is really just stuff right up top of the Chrome Dome. Words, I can use them, gosh damn it. Spider-Man 2018 story is easily one of my favorite told in any superhero game. You got the spectacular one portrayed by the legendary Yuri Lowenthal having to deal with the balance of being both Spider-Man and Peter Parker. This is shown as the game begins with Peter ignoring rent payments in favor of catching Kingpin, which has the consequence of him being evicted from his apartment. On top of that, when this game begins, Peter and Mary Jane, played by the equally legendary Laura Bailey, are broken up. So, to say the life of P2 isn't going great would be a bit of an understatement. The one thing anchoring Pete's life outside of crime fighting is working for Otto Octavius in an attempt to create the perfect artificial limbs. On top of that, he does occasionally volunteer with his Aunt May over at the homeless charity center known as Feast. These two things get turned on their head when the Feast founder Martin Lee turns heel by becoming the villainous Mr. Negative to get revenge on Mayor Norman Osborn for experiments that not only gave Lee his abilities, but also the death of Lee's parents. I would just like to make a quick note that Mayor Norman Osborn is not only the mayor of New York City, but also the head honcho of Oscorp, a scientific corporation. And if that sounds mildly super corrupt, that's because it is! Hooray, America! And to add salt to the wound, Otto also turns heel by freeing Spider-Man's greatest villains, and Vulture, and unleashes a toxic gas known as Devil's Breath onto New York, which causes a pandemic, all for revenge against, you guessed it, Norm! And even when Peter gets the anti-serum, he decides to choose the selfless option and allow the little he has to be used to create a cure for the wider public than just his Aunt May, who unfortunately dies. Man, being Spider-Man sucks! What also sucks is how neoliberal this game can be. First off, they treat drug crimes on the same level as violent ones, which I am not the biggest fan of, mainly because, through my life experience, I have known people who are in that field, staying 100% confidential by the way, and they're not bad folks! And this extends to their portrayal of convicts at Rikers Prison. At one point, there's a full-on riot, and when you consider that most prisoners are there for non-violent drug crimes, holy shit, this might be the most unrealistic thing in the entire game! At the same time, the way they use the private military group Sable is shockingly on point. You got anonymous troopers who, following the release of Devil's Breath, put the city under martial law and even arrest peaceful protesters.
Yuri, looks like some people were protesting this Sable base, and the agents responded by locking them up.
Great way to win hearts and minds. Can you get them out?
It'll take some persuasion, but I'm a pretty persuasive guy. Got the people out of the cells. They don't seem inclined to continue their protest.
I hate that Sable's violating constitutional rights, but right now, I'll settle for keeping innocent people out of lockup. Thanks.
You see, that's not just me being a socialist lefty, that is text in the game, homie! So to me, the politics seem super liberal-minded, very pro-police, but, at the very least, pro-constitution. People smarter than me have done deep dives into the politics of this game, but I feel like it'd be weird if I didn't mention anything considering just how blatant it all is. I'd say my favorite thing regarding Spider-Man 2018 is that we do get to see Peter Parker alongside Spider-Man. In order for us, as an audience, to truly relate to the struggle he has to go through, we can't just see him go up against almighty villains. We need to see Pete grapple with everyday problems that can even overwhelm him. Peter Parker is no millionaire. Hell, his aunt has to give him money for him to survive at all at one point. Parker is easily the lowest of classes in terms of big-name heroes, and I think that's what makes him a favorite for many. Another thing that makes Spidey lovable is that he is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and he does this by helping out citizens with their problems. Not everything has to be a world-ending issue for the emissary from hell to assist. In terms of just raw gameplay, it's damn good. Basically Batman Arkham, but, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but smoother in my opinion. Playing through New Game Plus, I have never felt more overpowered in a superhero game, and that includes the New Game Plus of Spider-Man 2. Not a complaint, mind you, as I feel like this is a proper reward for a second playthrough. The traversal is easily the most talked about aspect of the game. Even with the improvements of the later two games, Spider-Man 2018 still feels phenomenal. The way you're able to constantly maintain your momentum just feels right, and I know that a lot of these mechanics are a combination of other Spider-Man games, but the fact they're able to put it all together in such a way should be commended. The one negative I'd say are the stealth section. Not a fan of these. Spider-Man 2 improved them 1,000-fold. I wish we were given the option to skip them like the puzzle segments, just bleh, bleh, bleh. And of course, I gotta shout out all the different costumes. A combination of suits from the comics, films, and even some original designs really allow the player to make each playthrough feel unique. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the main one, but I don't hate it as much as other people do. Overall, Spider-Man 2018 is still one hell of a game. Even after all these years, it has not aged anywhere near as badly as some people were expecting. I still remember folks talking about how this Spider-Man game would age super quickly, and yet, at least in this dude's eyes, it has not. If nothing else, it's 50 times better than Arkham Knight. What an okay game that is, especially in comparison to this. I would also like to point out that Spider-Man 2018 is one of the first open world games I ever completed 100%. All missions, all side missions, all collectibles, all good, done and dusted. I'm not sure if I did this one first or Miles Morales, but nevertheless, it was one of the first open world games I literally ever completed ever in my life. And for me, that's a big deal because I am not a completionist. And then I would also go on to complete Ratchet and Clank, which isn't open world, but it does contain an open world area. I would also go on to complete Spider-Man 2 within a week of it launching, which is something I have literally never done for any game regardless of genre before in my life. So to Insomniac, thank you so much for creating games that are not only easy to complete, but are fun and accessible to do so. Man, Insomniac, they're on another level, man! Nevertheless, that is Spider-Man 2018, done and dusted and put into the past. As for what's next, once again, you'll have to stay until after the credits to find out. Hope you'll join me for that, and hope you'll join me for my next video. Thank you all for watching, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that snazzy, jazzy stuff, and I also hope that you all have a perfect rest of your day. Alright, time to discover what's next! It's going to be a remake. What remake? It is going to be the Game Boy Advance remake of Super Mario Brothers 3.